It's kind of foggy in here, but then again, there's probably a reason for it. This is slicker than snot. Anyway, I'm in the bathtub here. Alright, everybody. This is where I think the best. And I got my shorts on, so there won't be no leg action today. Yeah. I don't know what to do. There's a couple coaching jobs open. Both of them could use a basketball coach. Both of them, one program's got a great football program in history. Be a nice program to take over that and basketball. And another program needs the whole program rebuilt. And that'd be a good program to take over because they need a basketball coach too. So there's two positions that would be available. But I don't know how to figure out. I don't like saying the word can't. I just can't is basically not a word in my vocabulary. I'm a walking miracle. You know, I'm a walking miracle, and it comes with a lot of challenges. The biggest challenge is receiving proper help. Another challenge is overcoming the pain every day. Another challenge is not getting the help that you need from your physical therapist because you don't have one. Here I had a great physical therapist with the water, aqua therapy, and what do? They screw the best thing that they had in Lincoln Square and take down the aqua pool where I could get some good therapy. And, we're going to move that facility for rehab to another facility, and we can't move the pool. We can't move the above ground pool that's got everything in there for people like me, and that has a dead leg and a high hamstring tear on the good leg. You know, down to his last leg is I'm even past that. I'm down to my last leg with a hamstring tear up in my pelvis. And that's my good leg for 3.5 years almost. I've been rebuilding this bad leg that goes dead every day. And from having only 3 toes after surgery, this battery either back charged and exploded in my T9 and T10 areas and knocked out my entire right leg. All I had was 3 toes that moved and functioned. Yeah, the 3 little baby toes that was alive. Everything else was dead up to my crotch, the inside of my crotch, and that whole left glute on my buttocks, and that was all dead. It took me 2 months. It took me 2 months to find out what they did to me. My first attorney turned me down. I think they were mob. I may be getting a rib cramp. Anyway, I sought attorneys that first week when I was in the hospital. And they turned me down when I was getting removed from the memorial. I was taken down to Whitehall Rehab, and they denied me on my way out of my hospital bed at Memorial. And so that was one attorney, and kind of laughed in my face. And then all my conversations with them and phone calls with them completely vanished. It was like it was all knocked out. Like, this conversation is gone. So they turned me down, laughed in my face, and I don't know, they were an outfit out of Chicago. First ones you pulled up on the internet. So anyway, 3.5 years later, I got this leg to work. And through the grace of God and miracles and prayers and hard work. And, but I destroyed my good leg and the high hamstring there. Anyway, there's 2 positions open. And I know I'd be great in both of the basketball programs. I think I've already proven that in 89, but I didn't get much credit. From 86 to 87 to 88 to 89, Dad and I was building the program. And me being a super point guard and coming into my own, and a lot of the good alumni, and we had a great coach in junior high, Bobby T, and everything was fit. So anyway, I already told you that story, and how I didn't get a chance to continue Dad's legacy, and got blacklisted. So I made a mistake. I said a wrong word, but the guy was after me to begin with. I mean, look at him. The guy, he lives next to the campus and has him a tree house that's the size of a baby apartment so that he can entertain his student friends over. Oh, come on over to my tree house. And, oh yeah, I was invited numerous times. No, I think they, one time or something we could go there, but here he is, just comes in as a elementary education professor. Who's the main people that attend those classes? It's not a male. Not very often do you get male in elementary education programs. So this twerp told me I didn't have what it took. For 3 years I put up with him. I thought he was a little biased. And then on my junior year, I had my mom come up there with me, and we were studying over something. And I said, check this exam out. And I said, let's go up there and talk to him. And I want to see if you think that he's biased towards me. Because I think he is. So me and Mom go in there, and we have a lecture with him. And we're talking about the grades and this and that. And that test. And he gets frustrated and then tells me that I'll never graduate from that college. I just don't have it. And gets on me about the grammar and syntax. And I told him, by the way, I did test and took that class. I took the class, grammar and syntax. It's one whole class, and it's not easy, especially when you're a freshman or a sophomore, and you've really never had too much workings with sentence, predicate, subject, subject, predicate, noun, adverb, all that stuff. Never paid too much attention to it in high school. Didn't really like it, and had a lot of catching up to do. But I did pass the course. Got a B in it. So I did pass the course, although he's like threatening me that I'm no good at this and that. And I had ways of working around my handicaps. And my dad, being a principal for 20 or 30 years, he said, you can work with things on, let's say you don't know how to spell very good. You're doing something on the board, you misspell a word. One of your students catches the misspelled word. Hey, you get 5 points extra. First person that helps correct my spelling or gets an extra point, or have a quiz. Did you see anything up here misspelled? This was before you had grammar and spell check on the computers. So, yeah, I could have worked with it. I was weak on a few things anyway, so I didn't get my chance. And then, you know, they wouldn't let me graduate. I said, the old boy that loved me down there, he said, why don't you just petition the board to graduate without your student teaching? I was 2 weeks from graduating. I had a 2-month-old. I had a 2-month-old that just got married. We went to the state the year before that. And so they wouldn't let me reassign and finish my student teaching out. And at another institution with one of their advisors supervising me. And they turned that down. And then Dad was pissed off. I've got the tape kit. I got the tape cassette of that meeting on my education and my career, and what it would look like if I had an incomplete on my record from student teaching. That would look pretty bad. So we wanted to get it done that year. And so he had me a student teacher that would take me. He had me an advisor or a supervisor from from that college that would help me. And it was turned down. And I wasn't able to do it that year. Although I would have had to done student teaching twice. Okay, so I was willing to do that so I could graduate that year. They denied that. Okay, so the next year I said, well, I was told from one of the advisors that really took up to me, and he was the main guy I talked to when I went there to apply and be a teacher. He was the guy that was my advisor. Anyway, he was retiring and he didn't get any of those. I had to go over to this new professor with his little baby treehouse next door and stand up for the class because I was the only non-traditional male. And he didn't really like it. He told me I didn't have what it took. This is when I started the program, which was weird. I said, I beg to differ. And he said, well, you don't even have anything that transfers over. You've got an associate's in business. I said, well, I'll do whatever it takes. Well, you're going to need this, this, and this. You're going to need at least another year at another college, community college, just to come in. So I did that. I went back and dug trash and worked on the farm. Kept working out with Dad and the boys. And finished up a year's worth of classes and then went back into college with a ton of credits, an associate's in business. And now I've got 2 or 3 years to get my education degree. So anyway, 2 weeks from graduating, this all happened. 2 weeks. 2 weeks from graduating. With a 2-month-old. Every summer, every fall, I had to work in the factories to go support my family and everything else. Okay, so let's go back to, I couldn't get the classes in lieu of student teachers. You could take 3 classes in lieu of student teaching and have your 9 credit hours. So then you can go out and substitute for about 10 days, go sub, be a substitute, recertified through the state of Illinois, and then they'll certify you with those those substitute days count in their book as, in classroom teaching. So I'd be then certified. So at least I could sub. At least I would be able to get my degree. And then I could certify through the state. I wrote to the faculty, the board, for probably 6 to 7, 8 years. A couple of years in between, I stopped writing them. But then after about 5, 6, I wrote them again, said, can I do this in lieu of student teaching? I kept being turned down. You can't go to another institution to finish up your student teaching or anything. You have to go 2 years at any other program. Then, if I switch majors, like PE or something, I'd have to go at least a year of classes full-time. And so, I'm working, I'm trying to do this and trying to do that, and it never gets done, and I don't ever get my degree. So finally, I guess it was around 2009, 2008, and I said, I'm going back to see what I can do. I was working at the Secretary of State. I'd had 6 bolts put in me and a cage, and I applied for disability in 2003. And I about died in 2004, 2003 with the bolts in my back. And got denied again through Social Security. I met every regulation. I had all the doctors say this and that. And denied. And finally I said, okay, well, I'm going to see if I can work half a day or something at work. And so I tried working, and medications went up and up and up. And having a hard time controlling the pain. Then I found out that I would lose my benefits, my health benefits. I would lose all that because I am working part-time. And if I don't work full-time at the state, I'm going to lose all my benefits, all my medications, and all my doctors and everything else. So we pushed the narcotics up more, the fentanyl, the opiates, and kept applying for Social Security, kept being denied, and now really denied because I am trying to work through all kinds of hell. And so finally, with all the medication and enough opiates and painkillers, I was able to get full-time. Had to use a lot of my PL days, personal leave days. Had to use a lot of my sick days. I had to use all kinds of vacation days. And it was extremely hard. I did that. I came back and got that started and tried doing that, and I was on the high medications up until 2007 and 2008. My Social Security case come up again. I think I had taken a medical leave. I had some more complications. So the judge is sitting on my case to hear it again. And the big judge. And I'm on medical leave. And I got doctors saying, hey, he needs to be approved. Please get him approved as disability. He's tried to do everything far and beyond. He's even worked. And is on these super high narcotics. And guess what? I got denied again. So that was 2007, 2008. And so I went back to the Illinois College and I said, what can I do to get me a degree here? I'm on medical leave. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe I can get my PE degree or something. So I walked into the missions and they come out and they looked at my record. They went up there and they pulled it, and then they went here and they went there. And I was like, what's causing them so long? Dad was down in Florida about the time. He didn't have but months left to live. And so they come back and said, Mr. Stone, you have enough credits to graduate. According to the new rules and the standardifications of the state of Illinois, you have the official Bachelor's of Science in Elementary Education.
be it you may have to go out and substitute and do things like that to then be recertified. I was like tickled as pink. And I think still back at that time, you still had to have a degree to be a coach. And so Dad, I called him up and told him down in Florida, guess what, I walked in to go back to school, and I walked out of the door with my degree. And I decided that I would wait and go ahead and graduate with the group in 92 or 93. No, 2008. 2009. On 2009, I graduated with the group up there. It was in May, I think. But we lost Dad in February. And I'll be darned if the flower for my school was the dandelion flower. And how that is significant about how it floats around but then puts good roots down. It may be a weed, but there's certain things about it that's good. And see, me and Dad fought his cancer with the dandelion root. And he was the last patient to live in his chemo classes and everything else. And so I'd go out there and pick dandelion roots for him. And so it was kind of neat that he was gone and everything, but the flower was the dandelion, And it kind of like was kind of like him saying, "Hey, what do you think, buddy? Congratulations, you got your degree." So that was about 08, 09. I got to see him. I flew down there in February and got to see him. And then on the 23rd, this is getting kind of long. On the 23rd of February, he was getting horrible. He couldn't even golf. And Bob was down there, and we had a pretty good time. And he was getting really bad, and so we had some great time a little bit, but on the 23rd, he really got bad, and he started those, I guess it was the 22nd, he started, I could have gotten down there earlier, but I had a meeting on January the 21st to meet with Social Security again about being approved my disability. So I got cheated from seeing my dad in under 2 or 3 weeks to go to this meeting in St. Louis to be approved my disability for Social Security. I go down to the meeting in January, or the 21st. I do all the things. I show them all the paperwork. I proved everything that I've been proven. And then guess what? I'm then turned down again. I think later on, 2 or 3 months later, I get a letter in the mail that I'm turned down. And I couldn't get down to see Dad until February. So on the 22nd, he starts doing those where you breathe and you're going to be dead and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like having your death breathing or whatever they call it. So I'm praying really hard on the 23rd. I'm next to him on the couch and resting by him and praying for him. And so he keeps fighting it. And I'm praying for God that would go ahead and take him, and why is he suffering? And, it's like, I didn't understand why my prayers weren't being answered, but the next day on the 24th, just so happened to be such a relevant day in his history and my history. And that's the day that North Green knocked off #1 Southwestern here at home. And, that was one of the biggest upsets of this school. So it was really neat. He passed away on the 24th. And I got to actually talk with him about the Word of God. And a lot of people don't know he was a Catholic, but he was raised as a Protestant. And kind of like I am, I was raised as a Catholic, but then now I'm a Protestant. So we talked about God and Jesus before he died, and I got to save him and talk to him about being born again, and talk to him about my testimony. And I believe he received. I really do. I believe he took in Jesus as his personal Savior, and was born again, being saved. We didn't do any ritual or any water baptism and stuff, but you know, he's 2 weeks from dying. He couldn't do anything. But he really opened up to me on after I told him about my testimony and my faith and being born again. So he passes away on the 24th, which is really neat. So anyway, that's the story on that. But I'm trying to figure out how to coach. And the people that are disabled out there, they get to supplement their income. $1,200 at least a month. And they're making $500 more a month on disability. Yet people, millions of other people are out there just as disabled that are being cheated out of their disability pay or their benefits and their back pay because they're going to say you're SSI. When I landed in Knoxville and was surrounded by thousands of people in high-rise complexes, blacks, whites, Latinos, Mexicans, you name it, I was aware it was just not me, that there was a system in place. My best buddy, he got crashed in a car wreck and he was horribly disabled, yet and paid into the system, and yet he was only receiving SSI. And I told him, hey, you need to fight this. You need to fight this. Well, when it happened to me, I understand. When you call your congressman and they say, well, no, we changed the law. If you've been disabled for 10 years, you're just SLL. And so you haven't paid any work credits in. Well, that's a cop-out. If you're making people wait 10 years for Social Security, yet deny them for 10 years, what do you want them to do? Kill themselves? Use all their assets? Destroy their family and their family's life? Bring other people in their system to poverty? Live on plasma? Be a nuisance to society? No. Be humiliated in your home? So I get my degree and can't get any coaching jobs. Nobody wants to hire me, either because of my back condition or this or that. And so I couldn't teach yet. What was we doing? 09, 010. I'm disabled. I'm still working at the state, but I'm on medical leave and I'm disabled. And the 07 hearing said I was disabled again. Okay, so then, I think it was 2010, I get a letter from the state saying that you have to resign or be discharged. There was no return to work in that letter. There was no, you can return to work. No, it was resign or be discharged. Okay, so I get a letter like that. I'm still on a medical leave that's been approved for at least 2 more months. But this is dated a month earlier. So they're doing this. They've already approved me for a medical leave until the end of August. And this is May. And they want to fire me or have me resign by June. Yet they had already approved a medical leave until August. And there's no return to work date on it. There's no time for me to go back to work and get a doctor's release to go back to work. Because that's not in the rules. It says resign or be discharged. Well, I'm not going to resign. And so I asked him, I said, how can you do this? You've already approved me my medical leave until August. And you don't have a return to work date. If I tried to go back. They didn't care. They fired me. I fought them. I took them to court by myself. Nobody would represent me. And then at the final courthouse, not the first one, the second one, all this time waiting for my time to speak with somebody in the judge department, I asked him, I said, present my case to him. This is at the big state, at the Illinois. And the judge says, well, they have to have somebody come to work.
That was his reasoning to allow them to go ahead and fire me because they need somebody to work. But evidently he didn't read that there was no option for me to come back to work. He didn't read that I had a medical leave that didn't expire for another month or two from there. He didn't read that I should have been disabled and qualified to draw disability and had come back and worked before several times off of a medical leave and did it. It says, I lose the case because I didn't go back to work. And then if I wanted to fight that, then I can get it out of the state of Illinois and take it to the federal district court. See, the federal district court is where actually then you can get your case decided in a fair manner instead of being through the state, because the state sure isn't going to sue itself. The state isn't going to get on its own state people. The state isn't going to protect one employee over many because the state isn't going to do it. You better go somewhere else if you want a hearing. The state isn't going to say, hey, you wrongfully terminated this guy during a medical leave and you've destroyed his career. Not only that, you fired him. So now when he tries to draw employment somewhere, he's been fired from the state. He's got a medical condition, yet you didn't even give him a chance to return to work or try to go back to work. Listen, it was an approved medical leave. The approved medical leave did not expire. They didn't give me a choice to go back to work. What if I'd have went back to work? They didn't give me a choice. I was fired by then. So anyway, now I'm fired from a state job. I have to use my pension to live off of. What little I had, I worked there for about 10 years. So I had about $7,000 in my stock fund. I had to pull that out and live off of it to supplement my income, which was nothing. Now I wasn't receiving anything. I didn't have any medical benefits from the state. I didn't have any pay from the state. I couldn't draw unemployment because I was on a medical leave. I didn't have workers' comp because, I didn't hurt it there. So that's $7,000 lost a few months of my living there and trying to maintain my place. I had a place in Jacksonville, pretty nice trailer at the trailer home that I'd paid for, me and Dad helped me get that. I'd be close by the kids and be living next to them and stuff. So that $7,000 lasted about 2 or 3 years, and kept applying for disability, kept getting turned down. Finally had to sell my home because I didn't have enough money to support myself or it. So I sold my home for about half of what it was worth and lived in a van and put stuff in storage and tried to get into housing and was denied. And I don't know how hard I tried doing that. I can't remember. Several times over, I think. I don't remember. Actually, I think I do finally getting approved for housing. I was turned down 1 or 2 times. Then they said, "Oh yeah, we'll let you in." So after living in my van, I think that was 2013 or 2014. Mom had passed away, had a stroke twice. She had the stroke in 2011. We had a farm and I had a plot down there. And I was helping taking care of Mom because Dad had left us in 2009. So I was staying at the farm a lot, taking care of Mom. Susie was in Carlinville doing her life, and my other sister was in Florida doing whatever. So for 3 or 4 years I helped Mom, and she wanted to give me the farm, and that's another long story. And when she said she was going to do that, everybody threw a bitch fit
Joey was kind of fine with it, because I told Joey I was going to give him that acre, that quarter of an acre down there with the home on it, the mobile home. And he could have that, and I could have this place. And then I told Mom, I said, well, we need to pay the kids, Susie and Deb, some money. And, you know, there was like $100,000 in the account, and she could have paid them 50 grand apiece, which was, I'm fine with that. You know, I don't need any money. Dad told me how I could maintain this and pay the taxes. You know, there's like 10 or 11 acres still left on the house. So I could maintain the house. I still don't have my disability. If I have my disability, I have some supplemental income so I could save that farm, so I could have the farm, so I could get a loan on the farm. Let's say the farm is worth $200,000. They'd loan me $50,000 for a $200,000 house. You know, and I could stretch that out and have enough money to put some livestock in there, or put my hot tub in there, or whatever I need, and you know, do what I needed to do on an official investment or such. If I wanted to do cattle or another home. So, taking care of Mom. My place is up there. We're thinking about moving my place. Since I can't afford it, we're going to move my place back home on the farm. And that plot of ground should have been mine. And when my parents looked at the contract, they said, this is nuts. Jeff's going to be able to take this. And why did we draw it up like that? And that whole contract was a crap of crap. You know, sorry about the words. I was never even told how my farm was being sold from underneath me. Dad never even asked my advice. He never even checked with me on if it was a good deal or not. Until a year or two later, he discloses what the price was, how it was bought, the setup of the whole routine. Yet I was supposed to receive that land. I mean, I built 2 farms with him, 3 farms. We built the farm at Root House with the hogs twice, all during my high school. We built the farm again when I come back from college in '86. Then we rebuilt and started a farm in Fayette. They redid a house. I think I was home quite a bit then, and we had the hogs in. And then we decided to consolidate and move everything over to the Fitzgerald Farm, where we built again more hogs and farm, and there I am helping him do that. So 3 or 4 farms. Yeah, it's all sold underneath and out from me. And the way it was done was insane. He contract deeded it for the amount of money that he was getting every year from it. He basically gave it away for free. I'm getting $12,000 a year cash renting it, but I'm going to sell it $12,000 a year. Well, let's say it was $18,000. I'm going to sell it for $18,000 a year. Contract for deed. Okay, so you get what? $6,000 profit every year instead of what you'd usually get? So you're selling the farm for $6,000 profit each year. I could have bought it. I could have bought it for that. And he didn't even offer it to me. Then the Social Security, since '03, I've got a child ready coming up. And I need to take care of my family and work and provide as best as I can. And I'm denied. Tell me about it. All right, I'm closing out. Soaked up here as long as I could.